A pharmaceutical executive collapsed in the Oval Office on Thursday. And speaking of pharmaceuticals, whatever they've got Trump on, I want some. Because just look how chill he is during all of this. He's just standing there. He's literally...
And all the credit goes to our Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump, who strongly believes he would trounce two of his least favorite ladies in an IQ test.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ.
Just when Trump seemed untouchable, Jimmy Kimmel and Colin Jost went live, loud and unfiltered. Joe's smooth one-liners met Kimmel's comedic flamethrower, leaving Trump's ego thoroughly toasted and roasted. What began as harmless banter exploded into a full-blown late-night execution, an Olympic-level takedown of delusion, denial, and very bad spray tans. Humor met precision, and chaos met humiliation.
President Trump and the First Lady hosted a trick-or-treat event at what's left of the White House. And this is one of my favorite things that the president does because it's so clear he never trick-or-treated once in his life.
Also, this is a fun thing. If you turn a candy corn upside down and put a little face on it and put it in a little suit, it looks like our president.
Things got wild when the world's loudest orange president became late-night comedy's fastest punchline. Colin Jost and Jimmy Kimmel teamed up for a relentless, full-blown demolition of Trump's latest antics. One delivered smooth precision, the other flamethrower-level jabs, leaving ego exposed, chaos amplified, and the audience laughing in awe at the spectacle.
In his first term, here's how he gave candy to a kid dressed as a minion. Melania's just like, I guess that is how it's done. And then again this year, he did it to a kid dressed as DJ Marshmallow.
It began with a simple observation. Trump's latest decisions were chaotic enough to be called legendary, though not in a good way, unless bankruptcies, lawsuits, and global confusion count. Colin, armed with deadpan timing, patiently explained the facts, like a teacher walking someone through arithmetic, carefully showing that 2 + 2 does not, in fact, equal Trump.
The Supreme Court on Friday temporarily allowed the Trump administration to withhold SNAP benefits, including food stamps. And we actually have footage of Trump finding out he does not have to pay the benefits.
Democrat Abigail Spanberger has been elected as Virginia's first ever female governor.
Jimmy Kimmel served as the sledgehammer, smashing Trump's absurdities against the wall of logic, watching them crumble spectacularly. First up, the so-called genius allies in his administration. A cabinet full of billionaires, reality TV stars, and self-proclaimed masterminds should form a competent team, right? Instead, Kimmel exposed the chaos, highlighting that expertise doesn't always equal effectiveness or sanity.
You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump.
I agree. It sounds like a challenge, right? I mean, now, as I've mentioned, not only do I want to see this contest happen, I want to...
Watching them operate was like a toddler running a chemistry lab. Colin ensured everyone saw it. Every missed meeting, contradictory statement, and public meltdown was dissected with surgical precision, leaving only the smoldering remains of credibility in the wake of their chaos.
Just put it in the bag. Why is he so weird? Even the kid is like, this is not... It's kind of an embodiment of his entire presidency because it's just a violation of norms that no other president or person has ever conceived of. Like, who's ever thought, I should put the candy on the kid's head?
Then came the budget fiasco. Somehow, Trump and his team turned national finances into a circus even Cirque du Soleil would refuse. Colin dissected inconsistencies, contradictions, and imaginary numbers in reports while Jimmy added the fire. Balancing a budget while tweeting insults was comedy gold. International trips became reality TV spectacles. Trump's social media output, a mix of threats, errors, and chaos, was analyzed with surgical precision. Colin highlighted contradictions. Jimmy framed them as absurdities only a man confusing his press secretary with a magic 8-ball could produce. Together, they turned every fiasco into a masterclass of comedic demolition.
He was elected mayor despite his opponent Andrew Cuomo receiving endorsements from Donald Trump and Eric Adams, which is like trying to bring a girl home by saying, not to brag, but I have hepatitis B and C.
Andrew Cuomo spent the last day before the election campaigning around the city in a white Ford Bronco, which is what O.J. Simpson used to get.
Every time Trump posted, the world collectively held its breath, knowing comedy gold had arrived. Midterm chaos unfolded like a bull in a china shop claiming pottery expertise. Jimmy highlighted the absurdity of defending democracy while undermining it with lawsuits, baseless claims, and chaos, a slow-motion train wreck both horrifying and mesmerizing. Trump's personal branding, with an ego that had its own zip code, became prime target. Colin and Jimmy tore into every failed business, self-congratulatory tweet, and lawsuit. The jokes cut deep yet elicited laughter. No exaggeration needed. Reality provided enough absurdity for a masterclass in comedic demolition.
It's not like Trump doesn't care about people. I mean, he has a lot of empathy. He's feeling especially bad right now for the family of the newly decrowned Jeffrey Epstein pal, the now former Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew in the UK has had his royal titles stripped away because of the Epstein scandal. I know you're close to the royal family there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I feel very badly. I mean, it's a terrible thing that's happened to the family. That's been a tragic situation.
It wasn't just Trump under fire. Loyal sidekicks like J.D. Vance became prime targets, embodying overconfidence and underachievement. Watching him navigate public scrutiny behind someone allergic to coherent strategy was like a mime trapped in a storm. Colin's wit cut to the heart of every failure, while Jimmy added visual punches with exasperated expressions, turning reality into a comedy sketch. The roast's brilliance lay in its timing and sequence. First budget and policy, then international trips, social media antics, personal branding, and allies. By the end, the audience wasn't just laughing, they were emotionally invested in this escalating spectacle.
President Trump also spoke to a group of military leaders this week, and at one point, he went on a long rant about how good Barack Obama was at walking downstairs. Here's what he said. I'm not going to read it because it's a crazy thing to hear from a president, but it's actually kind of fun from anyone else. Let me show you what I mean in our new segment. President Trump would make a lot more sense if he sounded like...
Then came the moment where Kimmel reminded the world that Trump's behavior isn't just absurd, it's dangerous. His dry humor highlighted inconsistencies that made even skeptics pause, and every punchline carried a gasp before the laugh. The roast's genius was in its juxtaposition. Words versus actions, promises versus reality, bravado versus incompetence. Every tweet promising greatness paired with bureaucratic disaster, every boast of intelligence matched with chaos, every claim of loyalty shadowed by betrayal. Even the media wasn't spared. Trump's history of attacking journalists and outlets became another layer of satire, proving humor can expose danger while entertaining relentlessly.
It's bad. I mean, I feel badly for the family.
That family he feels bad for. The ones losing their food stamps, they're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. This is like Bill Cosby feeling bad for R. Kelly, okay? Prince Andrew lost his royal status. He's been demoted to, I think he's the Archduke of Frimplepants now or something. Trump's claimed that he doesn't know Prince Andrew, and yet there are dozens of photos of them together. Here's just one of the many. I don't know if what happened to Andrew in that.
Colin and Jimmy showcased how a man claiming genius spends most of his time flailing under criticism. Every press briefing, interview, and public statement became a comedic opportunity. Tiny details, the hand gestures, superlatives, bizarre pauses, turned into punchlines. Jimmy's impeccable timing made a shrug or smirk hit like a hammer. Colin's deadpan delivery made absurdity feel like art. Even Trump's legal battles weren't safe. Lawsuits filed against people more competent at reading became fodder for chaos. Jimmy framed each misstep as catastrophic yet hilarious, like juggling chainsaws on a unicycle. Together, they turned absurdity into a masterclass in comedic precision.
The Democratic National Committee protested President Trump's plans to accept a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar by flying a banner over Mar-a-Lago reading Qatar-a-Lago. It's the kind of hilarious stunt that makes you realize why the Democrats will never win again.
Amid the chaos, Trump claimed victory at every turn. Bankrupt victories, live TV embarrassments, all hailed as wins. Jimmy and Colin didn't exaggerate. They simply held up a mirror to reality, letting the audience marvel at his ability to redefine it on the fly. Every punchline landed because truth outpaced fiction. Audience reactions amplified the comedy, laughter mingling with disbelief. The pair's mastery turned disaster into entertainment without diminishing its gravity. Subtle digs at Trump's obsession with appearances, over-decorated rallies, gaudy gold, royal airs, were relentless. Colin's phrasing and Jimmy's expressions transformed narcissism into perfect comedic timing, creating a masterclass in absurdity.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Ankles was back home at the White House tonight, handing out candy to children. One of the kids was dressed as, you can see him here on the right side, as a light-up marshmallow. And watch this, because this is something Trump has done in the past. Instead of putting candy in the bag, he puts it on the kid's head and then sends them off on it.
The performance wasn't just mocking. It dissected, analyzed, and made the audience question how someone could advance on sheer confidence alone. Jimmy and Colin roasted Trump while keeping the humor accessible, highlighting contradictions and a logic without alienating viewers. The balance of sharpness and relatability turned the roast into a masterclass in late-night comedy. Social media erupted, clips circulated like wildfire, memes were born instantly, and tweets praising the timing and precision flooded timelines. Even casual viewers tuned in, curious if it could truly be that savage. And if Trump watched, his reactions would only make the jokes land harder, amplifying the comedy.
A little bit different this year because of the construction that's going on at the White House. They had to improvise a bit. They had to move around, and, they want to get that ballroom finished. So they just went right ahead with the demolition while the trick-or-treating was happening. The kids had fun, though. The Department of Agriculture was there, and kids love that. Handing out mini pumpkins, and the U.S. Postal Service was there with a Be Best postcard station. They gave the children Be Best postcards. I didn't know Be Best was still a thing. Did you?
Every predictable meltdown, absurd claim, and attempt to rewrite reality fed the comedians' fire. Colin Jost and Jimmy Kimmel didn't just roast Trump. They turned his chaos into a masterclass of wit, timing, and irony. Each joke landed because reality itself supplied the material, from politics to social media antics. The cycle of spectacle, meltdown, and punchline became a comedic rhythm that audiences couldn't look away from. By the show's end, the message was clear. Laughter is the antidote to chaos. Comedy didn't just follow reality, it caught up, demolished, dissected, and left a trail of unforgettable hilarity in its wake.